How would you introduce yourself if you were to meet someone for the first time?
Mm, well, I'm Dutch. That's the first thing. My name is Marty van der Ven.
Mhm.
I live in Eindhoven, and I'm involved in men's work, and I love to do that to see what I can contribute to the world, to see how to create more healthy masculinity.
Mm. Is that how you would define men's work, creating healthy masculinity?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Well, there are all kind of parts, and I'm specifically contributing in healthy masculinity in general. That's really important. And for me, the healthy masculine sexuality is a big part.
What would you say is unhealthy about today's masculinity? What is that? Like, a lot of people are talking about it. It's all over the internet, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you had to put it in your own words, as succinctly as possible, as compactly, efficiently as possible,
Mm.
what is wrong with today's men's sexuality?
Mm. I think most men, when they grow up, then the hormones come up, and that's also in the case with women. And women find out that there is something attractive of when they are coming to blossom, and men feel that as well. Only they want to get it, and instead of learning how to deal with that, we have to find out ourselves. And then men come to a place of shortage, and they want to get something and grab something. And yeah, that gives a dynamic that is quite disturbed. Instead of going to a healthy form of stating your desires and have respect for what your desires are, what the aim of your desires are.
Mm-hmm. So, did I understand correctly? The problem is that men tend to grab and kind of almost instinctively or unconsciously just cling on to it instead of verbalizing and making it more aware and conscious and saying, oh, I feel this, I want this. Is that what it is?
That's part of it, but that's not. You're missing there one important thing. Is to. I can do that. What you just said. I trained myself in that. Like, oh, when I want something, oh no, that's not allowed. We're not allowed to do that in this world. So I go back and I be a nice guy and pretend there's nothing, and I'm here. But in the meantime, my energy wants something, and that's still there. And what I practiced is that I come back to myself, ground myself, and be in real connection with myself. Also, even feel the desire that I have, and act on that, and come back in connection with myself. And when I'm here, I still can feel the desire, but not out of greed, but like, okay, oh, this is within me. And from here, when I act and I ask something, it's completely different because I can hold myself. I'm grounded. And when I, from this place, connect with a woman, it feels completely different for her. And for myself as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I sometimes wonder how much one should try to channelize and get to know and in a way also control this energy, this instinctive, this primal urge.
Yeah.
Because in a way that's also what makes the world go. In a way that's what gives a lot of men that primal drive to actually thrive and succeed and to grow. So I think one problem I have with this there's two problems I have, to be honest, with the stream of thought that you kind of represent for me in my head, from knowing you a bit more than, of course, these few minutes. One is, I feel like it's something raw, and it should stay raw. And it should not be tried to put into words and formulas and rules. You know, there's these books, right? Non-violent communication. And then they give you the rules for how to communicate. I really hate that. I really hate when someone tries to give me rules for communication. And the second problem is, I feel like maybe it's not something that should even be talked about much. Maybe it's just something that belongs in personal life. And there's some things that should be in books and educated and trained and should be written about. And maybe some things that should just not be talked about. It doesn't help. It's too complex. I see this in my own work, where I also work with men, and often the problems that they face are related to sexuality. But when I talk about it publicly, what happens is that it gets misunderstood. And the most weird and extreme stuff actually gets a lot of views online. And then the whole discourse online moves into a really weird, a red pill, manosphere type of vibe. And I'm like, that's not how people actually are. But when you start talking about it, and when you start bringing in the whole world and making it a thing that you present on the public square, that's where things just automatically drift, because the mob has a certain mentality. The crowd in a stadium has a certain mentality, and they want to see certain things and they react to certain things, but those are not the things that actually matter on a personal level. So almost came to that place where I said, yeah, maybe the only place where you should talk about this is very deep friendships, personal relationships, maybe with the therapist if you have one. But online and outside, there's no way to educate people and to really talk about this stuff, because it's way too complex.
Okay, cool.
Went on a little rant here.
Okay.
A little challenge.
Let's get to the first thing. When I was talking about coming home to myself and ground myself, doesn't mean I cannot be raw. It doesn't mean that I'm sweet and I'm here and I won't hurt you and I will not do anything unsophisticated or whatever. No, when I'm here, I can be raw as hell, raw as whatever, and I can invite my partner. I'm heterosexual, so if my partner is a woman, then that partner, I can challenge my partner or invite my partner for raw things, whatever that might be, and she can step into that, and she can receive me, but I'm still here with myself in everything what I do, and I can be sweet, and I can be tender. It's just how I feel at that specific moment. And when I'm here, then I'm completely different received by the other, instead of that I'm there. And then when I'm raw, then I can be dangerous, perceived dangerous when I want something, because it's overwhelming. That's the difference. So raw is very welcome.
I see. That's a good point. I think what I think of when I think of people exploring this part of their intimacy and sexual nature is events and workshops where they go specifically to explore connection. I see this a lot happening in Berlin. Part of the reason you're here in Berlin as well, there's lots of that going on. And there I always feel it's not raw anymore, because it's designed, it's targeted to bring that out. They make it cozy, they get this facilitator that's kind of or really beautifully dressed, and everything is kind of designed to get you to explore intimacy. And that's already a little bit too artificial for me. That's why I'm a big proponent of going out into the real world and just meeting people on a train, in a grocery store, you know. That's, for me, that's raw. But of course, there's different degrees to rawness, and even a grocery store is still a human-made experience. Everything is a human-made experience in the end.
Yeah, but I agree on that one as well. If you try to challenge it too much, well, it can be a beautiful exercise to see, oh, I can explore this as well and that as well, and take it with me. And when you have one partner, you can go everywhere and to see how to navigate everything there is within a relationship. And sometimes I can be very tired, or whatever things might happen in my life, that I want to be nurtured and just laying down and being taken care for. But mostly I have quite masculine characteristic. Mostly I'm holding space and the one to initiate certain things, and that's what I want to do. And then it can go everywhere as well. And when you have one partner, then you can negotiate what you want to do, or not even negotiate, but try to find out where you're at this moment, and to see where you can practice and exercise, and see how to even go further in exploring what your palais is, and how you can more explore.
This is a big word, explore. Now, the beauty of men's work is that it brings together people from very different backgrounds, from the Netherlands and Germany, from different age groups. That's also one thing I love about men's work. It brings me together with people that are a bit older than me that I can also learn from. But one thing that I wonder is, in my old age, or let's say when I'm your age, I don't think I will want to explore that much anymore. So I wonder if that explore word is maybe a bit of a slippery slope, where you maybe run the danger of exploring too much, and then you realize there is infinitely much to explore in the world, especially in the world of relationships. And then you never stop exploring, and you never really arrive. I wonder if that's a danger that I have to look out for, because I'm a man who actually is pretty clear on wanting to have a family, which is for me certainly a type of end of exploration, and at least in the sense of no more new partners, right? And maybe if I explore too much, or if people explore too much, they get the taste of it, and they never want to stop exploring, and then they never want to settle down, and they never want to have a family. Is that the thing that you can relate to?
Well, the way you interpret explore seems like a bit of what I mean. When you have a partner, settled for a family, have children, I wish for you that you never stop exploring with your partner. Even when you're together, that every time that you come together, that it's new every time. That you never come to a place that you know, okay, we come at the end of the day and we go to bed, and I know that she will lay next to me and we'll lay here, and oh, it's Saturday, so we come together because we agreed upon that. That's our usual thing. And then even that you might have sex at that moment because it's Saturday, yeah, you're dying a bit. But exploring is that you come together and that you see your woman and see her as new. Like, okay, now we come together here, and what might arise? And that's exploring for me. Like, every time make sure that the moment is new, instead of replaying something from the past because you always did it that way. And that to me is a kind of dying.
I get that. But you must concede that the most exciting exploration is going completely out of your comfort zone, regular routines, and that in its extreme form means various relationships, more people, different people. And I have been through this phase myself, and I love that phase. I guess now I'm in a phase where I don't want to explore that much.
But that to be clear, if you're in a phase that you want to see that you're single and want to see what's happening out of the world and explore as much women on a healthy way as you like, and with consent and on a way that everybody agrees, that's okay. And when you want to do the other thing, what you said, start a family, create that life, make sure it's never dull. Make sure that you come not to a routine where all the excitement is gone, where all the juice is gone. And yeah, then there's always new things. And also when you're in a family, the way you are now is different than you were a year ago or 2 years ago. And when you pretend it's not and you do the same thing, that's what you explore every time. Hey, where am I now? For instance, you cannot do physically what you did 2 years ago. You told me you ran 25k kilometers in the weekend. Wow. Maybe in 5 years you cannot do that as good as you do it now. And to see what changes in your life, and to see what you can do, but also that you feel that you're more at ease and you don't have a drive to reach something externally, but go more inwards, that you feel, hey, I'm different now. My partner is different. How can we still align and connect on the way, in a way that we are now? And that is for me a constant exploration in your life.
How much do you think does this topic, connection, relationships, women, actually matter for the overall life success of the men that you work with? You're a men's coach, among other things. You work with men. I also work with men. In my case, the men often come to me because of this particular problem. They have difficulty relating to the other gender. How is it for you, the men that you work with, the men that you've experienced? And maybe you can even talk about a general demographic, certain kinds of men. How much do they actually need help with this topic versus how much do they need help with career and finding out their true purpose in life and doing what they actually want to do and creating value for others in society? Oftentimes I feel like the men that come to me saying I need help with dating, actually they need help with figuring out what the hell they should do with their lives. And they have no mission. They don't have a mission that they really feel like they can enjoy and they embrace. How do you see that?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I'd love to take that back for the when you asked me two questions. One was the rawness, and the other one was don't talk about it. The thing that you now bring up has to do with that very often men, not only men, but I'm a man, so I experience it as a man, and I want to pass on my experience, are looking outwards like, okay, how should I be? How should I act? How should I respond to someone in the outer world? What is the expectation of the other? And especially nowadays, there's so much on the internet that you can see, oh, they do like that, so I should do the same because I think that's the way I should be. Instead of feeling inside who you are, attune to yourself, what deep inside you want to do. And if you think about not talk about all the sexual thing, then you don't know what it is. In the ideal situation, you will learn from your surroundings, your parents and maybe other people that bring you up, about how it is on a healthy way to deal with your sexuality. When it comes up, when your hormones starts to get active, what to do with it. And you only can learn it from someone who knows what to do with it in a healthy way. And in my situation, I didn't learn anything from my father. My father passed away when I was 9. And my mother, she's never been a man, so she cannot tell me that. So I found out from my friends. And my friends didn't know anything, so we were like kids becoming interested in women, and we didn't know what to do with it. So we had to figure it out our way. And I don't think you have to talk a lot about it, but to have the basics and to know that you go inside and deal with it in a respectful way with the other gender, that is something you have to learn from your surroundings, from people you can trust, that give you that basic. So that's where you have to talk about. And when that is there, then everybody has the same basis. And then you don't have to talk about it, but also all the rubbish that is now there, out of a kind of frustration or the shortage, will be perceived in a complete different way. So first we have to go back to the basis.
No, that's really important. And I think it cannot be an institution that teaches you this, because the other idea would be, why don't you just learn it from school? Because there's some sex ed classes in school, but that's always going to be watered down to the lowest common denominator of society, and in a way it's also always going to be mixed gender, unless you feel, I don't know if there's a society that came up with a way to separate boys and girls in school and teach them different things. It's going to be tricky in today's political climate to do that. Everyone should get the same information, right?
Yeah.
Once you do that, you just ignore a huge diversity. Men and women need the information served differently. They need different information. Every individual also needs different information. So it's got to be a personal process, right? Where you connect to someone you trust, and you can't talk about this very, very highly personal, highly sensitive stuff in front of anyone else that you don't really trust, because it's too personal. It's too embarrassing for people who are not yet at peace with this side. So they need a safe container, right?
Yeah. The safe container is the most important thing, and there are several aspects to that. First of all, there is something generic, like that you can learn people how to get inwards. That's the same for everyone. Okay, you can attune to yourself, and that is what you can learn. And from there, you learn that everything is personal within you, and that when I'm coaching someone, I can feel into what the other person is feeling, but it's never as nuanced as the person himself can feel it. I can only help him to go towards his own attunement, but he has to do it for himself. So that's the personal thing, what you say. But there is something generic where that we as humans can learn from one another how to go inwards. next to that, when my parents grew up, they were separated in school. Like there was a school for girls and a school for boys.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, sexuality was something you didn't talk about at all. I don't know how my mother or my father got to learn certain things, but it was like, oh, you don't talk about that. I heard from my mother that she went into marriage and didn't know anything. And she expected my father to know everything, and she got really disappointed. And she prevented us, although she was really Catholic, and in Roman Catholic Church, it is said you go marriage and only then have sex. And she said to us, well, go explore before you get married, because if that is not connecting, then that will be you will have a hell of a marriage.
Wow.
So that's another part that if sexuality is something that you don't talk about, that is a taboo, that you only touch upon in making jokes or suppressing the other or whatever, then it's not a healthy part of our society. And as long as it's hidden, it's unhealthy, it's something forbidden, or it's not in the public to talk about it on a normal way, yeah, then we cannot pass it on to our next generation.
So I guess then what's needed is, on a personal level, on a family level, community level, we need to ideally just naturally meet people who we can talk about this stuff with on the most intimate level, which cannot ever be public. But for some people, like me and you to some extent, who just in their childhood didn't happen to have that person, we need ways for people who are like latecomers to dock onto some kind of community and some kind of coach like you, and have that conversation in a slightly more institutional, in a slightly less raw way. And so that's really great that you do that work. But you didn't answer the question about the purpose and career and work. How do you think is this work that we're talking about here of helping people kind of discover and explore their sexuality related to helping people explore their deeper meaning in life and purpose when it comes to what work they actually want to do? I sense that connection in my clients at least.
Okay. Well, then I have to go a bit to the energetic system, the energetic body that we have. There are a lot of chakras in our system, and those are energetic
focal points.
Focal points. Thanks. And the second chakra, that's rooted in our sexual parts, in our underbelly. That is where our sexuality is, and it's also where our life force is. So when we're brought up to depress our sexual energy, we're also suppressing our life force. And when we want to know what our purpose is, we have to dig into our life force. So that's kind of contrary. We want to know what our purpose is, but we have to suppress our sexual energy. So we cannot let our purpose shine because we're all the time suppressing our life force. So if we know how to deal with our sexuality, and it doesn't mean we have to do everything, but we have to be aware, okay, now it can even be that when I would be interviewed by an attractive woman, that I feel this attraction and my sexual energy comes up like, oh, and then it's up to me to grab it or to hold it to myself, to contain it, like, oh, you're an attractive woman, and I feel that and I can hold it. So it's always that I am aware of what's happening within me, and I make a choice, like, okay, what do I do with it? Do I open myself like, or I think you're really attractive, and what can we do and how to deal with it, like an invitation, and you can respond to me what you want to do with it, when you were the attractive woman. Or I can make the choice, okay, I feel this attraction and I keep it to myself because I don't think it's the right time to do anything with it, or my purpose is to have this interview and I want to put something into this world. And all the time I feel this attraction within me, so I let my sexuality be here. I don't suppress it, and in the meantime I can tap into my purpose, like, hey, this is what I want to bring into the world. This is where I want to put my attention on.
That really resonates in a way. But I also have this opposite or contrarian experience with these two competing forces, where I feel like the main distraction, the main block for me making progress in my work and my purpose is the attraction to women. Because it takes so much attention, and it takes so much energy in a way, online and offline.
What you are telling now is that you're aware of it. The first thing is awareness, consciousness. Okay, where am I distracted? And the second thing is to act upon that, and be gentle for yourself, because you're human. Everyone is human. I'm human. Let's face it. Let's talk about me instead of you, because I know how I react. I try to be as conscious as possible what's happening and act on that. But sometimes I'm completely off. And then I just try to be aware of it, and think to myself, oh yeah, this is completely ridiculous what I'm doing now. And then I'm trying to hook up to a woman, and that I feel this is not the way that I think it should be, and I'm doing it. Yeah. And so I know what is a healthy way, and I have all the unhealthy habits within me, and it's always up to me to be aware and to make the choice. And I think I grew a lot so that I mostly can make the healthy choice. And I'm just human, and I make mistakes, or I do the thing that's not so healthy. It's not always a mistake, but it's just human. Yeah. And it's not something to hide behind, like, yeah, I'm just human, that's what I did. No, with everything that I do, it's my responsibility. I have to take responsibility what I did. It's never like, I'm human. Yeah, I'm human, and I made the choice, so I'm responsible for every choice that I made.
I think that's a really good place to end it, actually. When people want to work with you more closely, where can they find you? What kind of services do you offer currently?
I'm offering a training, and the training, it's called Men Don't Have Feelings, with an extension mark, because many men, we're talking about the manosphere, it's about what to put into the world and how to be the most attractive man. And very many men do that because they don't like the feelings of not being good enough. So they have to prove that they are good enough and can reach what they want, instead of feeling what's inside. But it's can be scary to feel what there is inside. So to connect with your feelings gives you another way of being in the world, but a much more relaxed way. So I give training, and I do personal coaching, and I have certain activities that I do with men. Can be a mixed group as well, if people would prefer that, like wood chopping, or have a circle around the fire or without the fire. I call that conscious conversations. My company is called Dappere Mannen. That's Dutch for courageous man. And yeah, in the website is Dutch.
Okay, but it's still available for English speakers, since you can work
Yeah.
with English speakers as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Great. So we're gonna put the link in the description of the video
Oh, cool.
for people to find you if they want to work well with you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Marty. Really great to have you here.
Yeah. Thank you, Achiel, for having me here.
All the best. Bye bye.